Mark, you're heading off now, professor at Ambrose. Can you tell us, what is your role specifically there?
I'm going to be the associate professor of pastoral theology. Associate because I don't have a doctoral degree, so they kind of dumb you down or whatever.
Okay.
And so really they tapped me, they recruited me for my experience and probably for my profile. I've written a number of books, and I think that was attractive to them to have somebody who's known fairly widely throughout North America and a bit beyond. But you know, I tried to, when they first pursued me, I wasn't initially interested, and so I told them, listen, you got the wrong guy. Number one, I don't have a doctorate degree, and because the role is pastoral theology, so I'm fundamentally working with young seminarians, people who intend to get into vocational ministry of some kind, and helping them understand the soft tissue issues around pastoring. So much can be communicated in terms of just skills, you know, honing skills about preaching or counseling or whatnot. But really what I think I'm going to bring is 24 years of experience of what do you do when you have a board member who loves Jesus, but you can't stand them. And they can't stand you, and so you're always kind of grinding against one another, and you can't say, well, this person's theologically deficient or even spiritually amiss. There's just some personality clash. And how do you navigate through that? Because every pastor who's listening now goes, oh yeah, I would have loved to learn that in seminary.
It's true, right?
Right.
Those real life
issues where you feel that so much of your time, energy, is being drawn into some low-grade conflict. It's often not manifest, but it's sort of this grinding or this striving in spirit with somebody, and so much of your joy gets sapped, and so your passion for doing the ministry, you obsess. Anyhow, all of that, I don't know why I pulled up that situation, but things like that where it's soft tissue, that nobody's writing necessarily about it, or that doesn't make the core curriculum of most seminary classes. But I'm coming out of 24 years of having navigated all kinds of different terrain. And I mean, just the terrain of loneliness, the terrain of when you're a pastor, especially a lead pastor, as I've been, you know, you're the guy taken out at sunrise to be shot if things go terribly wrong. Now you also get inordinate and undeserved praise for things that you really didn't do and somebody else did, and they thank you. So it balances out. But there's a tremendous loneliness when you're the lead guy and you know, gosh, you know, I'm going to have to wear this particular decision. I worried sometimes when I saw the attendance declining. I worried, did you like my sermon? Not all of them, I don't think.
All right, we're going to crank it up, Mark, because you know what? You are shaping minds. You are there. The church, we need some help here, you know? There's lots of stuff in North America primarily. It just feels like there's a real challenge for young people in particular coming to church. Like, what do you feel like there's a call there? Does it feel like there's...
Yeah, very much. Like, I think that there's two things that immediately come to mind as you bring up this topic, Craig. One is that I think it's time for a full recovery of what Jesus came preaching, which is the kingdom of God. He announced it, it's near, it's here, it's dear, you can get in, join, lay hold of it, forcefully advance it. And there's lots of debate about how tangible or how visible that kingdom is. But the reality is the kingdom is a rule and reign of God in our lives personally that increasingly manifests itself in how we live in our homes and our communities. I want to go and help with the recovery of that sense of the kingdom preaching of Jesus Christ, and that our churches are actually to be these outposts of the kingdom of God. That God has put that church on that corner or down that street, whatever, that he might have a sign and symbol of the kingdom in the midst of that community, and every person thinking themselves as a citizen of that kingdom. That they are a royal priesthood, that they are a holy nation, that they are these people belonging to God, that they might declare his praises.
Church, promise me, promise me, promise me. You will not stop now.
It's easy to say, but where is that transition? Like, how do we transform ourselves to not be individualistic, not be consumer? And is there a way of doing that?
Well, I think it's a slow obedience in the same direction. To quote, actually, Nietzsche and Eugene Peterson had a title of a book that we keep breathing the kingdom, believing the kingdom, living the kingdom, especially honoring and loving and exalting the king of the kingdom. And the consumerism, individualism are so defining us in ways that we can't even, gauge. It's just how we think, and it's how we act and how we breathe. But I believe bit by bit, as we really live into this kingdom mindset, that it gets looser and looser on us. And so, I think the book of Acts is our best example of what it looks like when a faith community is actually living out of this kingdom identity and this generosity, this ridiculous generosity,
absolutely.
and this, as you cited, this willingness to go wherever the Spirit leads you, when he leads you, how he leads you. This willing to take extraordinary risks. Paul says in Acts 20, I think 24, my life means nothing to me, except that I might finish the work that he's called me to do. I am not there yet, Chris, but that's kind of the target on the wall for me is, can I get to that place where I say the only thing that matters to me is that the call that God's placed in my life, I would be faithful to that and finish that.